So we tested the Mozztronics BOD-1 some months ago, and now it's all about the BOD-2. They share the same DNA, but the BOD-2 has matured into quite a complete package. It's got a selectable 5-way mid control, a treble knob, and a DI out. Wait, what? A DI out on an overdrive pedal? Why? And is the mid function really a game changer? These are just the kind of questions we'll try to answer in this video, so stick around. Welcome back to the Weather Base. First of all, I would like to thank Mozztronics for sending me this pedal all the way from Australia. As already mentioned, the BOD-2 is based on the BOD-1. They both have a gain knob and 2 independent volumes for wet and dry signals. But the second version has a treble knob to cut or boost the highs of the wet signal and an on-off switch for the EQ, whereas the BOD-1 has a counter switch that slightly scoops the wet signal or the drive sound if you prefer. The 5-way rotary switch of the BOD-2 allows us to select 5 different mid frequencies to cut or boost. And again, the mid function only affects the wet signal, the drive sound, at 380, 550, 1.2, 1.6 and 3.5 kilohertz. So why are mid frequencies so important to control, especially when using an overdrive pedal? Well, when boosting the right mid frequencies, it allows us to better fine-tune our sound, to cut through a mix or to be heard better without the need of increasing our volume, thus risking to muddy up our sound and the one of our band. And when cutting, we can free up some space in the mids for other instruments to be heard more clearly. But you needn't worry about disappearing in the mix. You can always dial back some dry signal in and add a touch of drive to give more character to your dry sound. So plenty of attack in the mids and even a bit of thickness when switching from 1.6 to 1.2 kilohertz. Sweet. Now let's go for a fat and fuzzy drive sound. This is an absolutely beautiful saturated sound for this kind of bass solo, right? Rich, texture, and a lot of sustain, although the compressor does help a little bit. So you might wonder if this pedal is also a preamp because of its DI out, but it lacks a bass knob to be a proper preamp. And again, the EQ and the treble knob only affect the wet signal that never gets completely clean. So this is definitely an overdrive pedal, and you will get saturation as soon as you blend in some of the wet signals, even with the gain turned all the way down. But still, can you slap with this pedal with the mid frequencies at 550 Hz cut all the way down? Let's find out. The driven sound brings an aggressive touch, but might not be to everyone's liking. Still, I think it's pretty cool, like adding chili sauce to a chocolate cake. Let's go back to the 1.6 kilohertz setting, boost it just a little bit for a modern tone. I especially like how the B and E strings sound with this setting. The saturated tones really come out nicely. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and we did talk about it before. No bass knob. So this pedal cannot doom, right? Right? Turns out if you boost the wet signal and the gain of the drive and cut all the frequencies at 380 Hz, you get a massive boost of low end, so no need for a bass knob. And even if there was one, I think it would muddy up the sound, especially if you boost the mids too. Like all good tools that are specifically designed for a particular purpose, and in the case of the BOD-2 to better define a drive growl in the mid frequencies, this pedal has a bit of a learning curve and is not as intuitive as the BOD-1, the kind of pedal I would recommend to neophytes. But the new one excels at tone shaping, and I prefer it over its sibling. The only critic I have, and it's really nitpicking, is that I would have preferred a slightly wider Q for the mid frequencies. I recorded all of the sound samples through my Peterson Tuner and the Mozztronics CO-2 compressor. Now, those that follow the channel know how much I rely on this compressor lately for my videos. It's not only practical, but it's predictable and extremely musical. And last in the signal chain is obviously the BOD-2, and we used its DI out for all of the recordings. I even recorded the loops in the next audio with the pedal switched off and used the BOD-2 as a regular DI box. And besides, it even has a ground lift switch. So why is this a genius feature? Well, I can think of various scenarios, but the main ones are having a DI out of the wet signal before hitting a preamp, or for reamping purposes, using this pedal as a kind of color box. This means that you can record a dry signal, run it through this pedal, and dial in the perfect mid-driven tone for a better sonic merge with the other instruments. Last but not least, here's the loop I talked about. You'll get the chance to clearly hear how much the 5 different mid settings affect the sound, either cut or boosted. And right after that, all the sound samples without drums or being reamped through my trustworthy Stopko amp. By the way, no EQ or compression was added in post-production in the digital audio workstation. Right, so in conclusion, a fabulous sounding drive with a nicely tuned growl and mid-tone tweaking. That has deserved a special place in my heart as one of my favorite drive pedals, because it better lets me shape my tone. And it's fun to use, especially in my latest concerts. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed this review. The truth is that Mozztronics is making incredible pedals. I just wish they were aesthetically a bit more refined, but I prefer sound over aesthetics by a mile. And the BOD-2 definitely delivers. I'll see you in the next video. If you want to do something for me, please like and subscribe to help make this channel grow. Bye-bye.